Her voice didn't just break the kitchen's quiet. It stabbed straight through it, sharp enough to split the air. Danielle stood by the marble-topped island like a statue that had learned to breathe. Her hand clutched her phone in a grip so tight her knuckles stood out in pale ridges. You'd think the thing was a lifeline dangling off a cliff instead of a piece of glass and circuitry. I kept my voice level, controlled, cold enough to frost the edges of the room. No, I'm being observant. A flicker crossed her eyes. Small, fast, but real. She glanced toward the window like she wanted to jump out of the moment. But the glass had no mercy to offer. Want to explain why a man named Jay wants to meet you at the Velvet Vine? I tilted my head, with 3 winking emojis. The silence that followed didn't belong in a marriage kitchen. It belonged in a courtroom. She scoffed, a brittle sound, but her eyes never met mine. It's just a colleague, Ron. We have drinks after work sometimes. It's completely professional. Professional? Professional? The word rolled off her tongue like she'd rehearsed it. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't need to. Professional drinks with emojis that look like an invitation to bring lingerie. Her jaw clenched. A flash of frustration flicked across her face before she could bury it. God, Ron, stop turning everything into a cross-examination. You're twisting it. You always do this, she said. You always know. I cut in softly. I'm listening. Go ahead. Convince me. Her posture stiffened the same way she stiffened during high-pressure meetings when we were dating. Danielle used to thrive under pressure, but not tonight, not when the math wasn't on her side. She tucked her phone away like she thought hiding it could undo what I'd seen. There's nothing wrong. You're projecting. That word again, projection. It was practically her mantra these days. I huffed a laugh through my nose, humorless. You've used that word 3 times this month. Let me guess, is that one of the lines your colleague taught you? The mask slipped. Just a fraction, but enough. You're insane. No, I replied calmly. I'm meticulous. Numbers don't lie. Metadata doesn't lie. Patterns don't lie. People do. Silence spread between us, thick and suffocating. The hum of the refrigerator filled the space like background noise in a cheaply written play. Her eyes flicked to panic hiding behind fire. I slid the cutting board into the sink and flicked the kitchen light off. She muttered, "We're not done." We never really started. I walked past her, letting my shoulder brush hers barely, just enough to make her feel it. Her perfume clung to my shirt like a ghost. Upstairs, in the dim study, the room was usually my retreat. The walls, the desk, the neatly organized books, all of it used to feel clean. Solid. Predictable. Tonight it all felt staged, like props in a theater production meant to convince me my life was orderly. But it wasn't, not anymore. My name is Ron Keller, and I audit state financials for a living. People think it's boring. Maybe it is, but numbers are truth machines. They don't improvise, they don't pretend, they don't cheat. Danielle's story, though, it had more holes than a colander. For years our life was functional, efficient. A well-tended suburban compromise, grocery lists, movie nights, HOA awards, a good marriage by surface metrics. But function can hide rot, and Danielle, she thought I would just let this slide, that a lie wrapped in silk could pass my scrutiny. She forgot the most important thing about me. I don't flinch when the numbers go red, and I never move without a plan. The next morning, she floated through the kitchen in a silk robe like she was starring in some romantic sitcom. Sunlight framed her like a spotlight, her hair perfect, her smile practiced. She was humming. That was the last straw. Working late tonight, I asked casually. She looked up too quickly. Yeah, backlog. Might be home late, right? Of course. A kiss on the cheek, warm lips, cold eyes, and she drifted away. I counted. 6 minutes before the shower turned on. She always took long showers before meeting someone. I stepped outside. The air tasted like winter and lies. I didn't drive to work. I drove 28 minutes to a neighborhood I hadn't visited in years. Wind chimes, quiet street. The kind of place where people still wave at each other. Mike Preston, modest house, honest face. When he answered the door, I saw surprise first, then recognition, then something heavier, dread. I introduced myself. Mind if I come in for a minute? He hesitated, then stepped aside. Inside, his home was clean, lived-in, grounded. A dog photo, a couch with faded leather, nothing like the polished pretense Danielle lived in. Danielle mentioned you two were meeting this week, I said. He frowned. Meeting with me? I haven't gone anywhere with Danielle in months. I watched his posture. His breathing, his eyes, no guilt, no evasion, no tells. He was telling the truth. Before I left, he asked quietly, "Is everything okay between you two?" I looked him straight in the eye. You ever get the feeling someone's telling you the truth, just not all of it? He nodded slowly. Budget meetings, he said. Yeah, I understood. When I returned home, Danielle was gone. Her perfume lingered in the hallway like a mocking reminder. The black heels were gone from the closet. Of course they were. I sat on the edge of our bed and breathed through the rage. Audit training keeps emotions neat, contained, but even containment cracks. Tonight, the numbers didn't just fail to add up, they screamed. The velvet vine, that place looked exactly like betrayal, dim lights. Jazz humming like a lie wrapped in velvet. Couples whispering into glasses of wine. I stayed in the shadows, and there she was, crossed legs, perfect posture, laughing softly, too softly. The kind of laugh women use when they've already chosen someone, and him, tailored blazer, smug smile. Leaning just close enough, I snapped a photo, texted her, "How's the bar?" She froze, then typed, "Just out with colleagues, why?" Smooth. Practiced. I stepped out of the shadows, walked toward them, controlled, measured. Her companion saw me first. His smile cracked. I stopped at the table. "Colleagues, huh?" Her wine glass slipped, crashed to the floor. Red wine sprayed across her heels like blood. She reached for me. I stepped back. Then I turned and walked out. She wanted a performance. She forgot I judge accuracy, not theatrics. The drive home, 10 minutes, total silence. She finally spoke. I didn't mean for it to happen. What's his full name? Her breath broke. Alex Stone. I said nothing. Just drove, she cried softly. I didn't comfort her because clarity doesn't comfort. Back home, she begged. Pleaded, promised, I'll do anything. I walked past her. You already lost the only thing that mattered. She whispered, "What?" I turned. My trust, her knees buckled. I went upstairs. Morning, she was shaking, clutching a towel like a lifeline. I drank coffee, slow, cold, then, "I'm hiring a private investigator." She collapsed inside her own skin. "Ron, no, please, we can fix this." I didn't raise my voice. If it's over, he'll find nothing. Her fear was raw. Tangible, good. Fear is honest. She begged until her voice broke. What happens if he finds something? I answered with silence. Verdict delivered. I left. A week later, Brian Lofton, private investigator. He did his job well, too well. Hotel receipts, time-stamped photos, a pattern, a year. Long affair, regular meetings, nothing accidental. Nothing harmless, not a slip, a routine. That night, Danielle's face was hope and terror blended together. Did you find anything?" I looked at her like an auditor looks at a falsified spreadsheet. He runs a consulting firm. Her face cracked. I didn't think it mattered. It matters. Because she didn't end it. She got caught, and that's different. Confrontation, she finally admitted. He made her feel seen. I told her, then go be seen by him. She broke. He doesn't want me. He says it was a mistake. A smart man, I thought. Then I told her, I'm meeting him tomorrow. Her face drained. Completely. Ron, please don't ruin his life. You should have thought of that before you put him between us. I left her trembling. Meeting Alex, the bistro was polished steel and soft lighting. Alex walked in, nervous, guilty, but composed. We talked, no yelling, just facts. He confirmed everything. Then he showed me a photo of the two of them kissing outside a hotel. Autumn leaves behind them, timestamped. I told him to email it to me. He asked, "Why are you doing this?" I answered, "Because she refused to tell the truth." I left him there, drowning in his own guilt. In the restroom, I let the rage hit something that wasn't living. The mirror shattered, my reflection splintered. Perfect. Outside, rain hit me like cold needles. I pulled up the photo again, proof glowing on my screen. Danielle had lied with elegance, with calm, with confidence. But the truth was simple. Her story was over. Mine just beginning, the calm before the storm. I didn't sleep that night. Not fully. The bed felt wrong. The sheets smelled faintly of her perfume. A cruel reminder that the betrayal I'd uncovered was not some abstract concept. It was real. Tangible, heavy. I sat in the dark living room. The clock ticked loudly. Each second a hammer, each minute a sledge. Numbers don't lie. But people do, and Danielle had lied like a professional accountant, falsifying balance sheets. I had audited hundreds of companies, and yet here was a ledger that mattered more than any corporate fraud. The ledger of my marriage. And it was bankrupt. Coffee cold on the table, laptop open, emails, messages, timestamps, all meticulously logged. Proof irrefutable, every pattern pointed to one inescapable conclusion. Danielle had orchestrated an entire year of deception with Alex Stone. It wasn't random, it wasn't a lapse, it was intentional, and I was awake. The next morning, confrontation. Danielle had returned home by sunrise, probably hoping sleep would reset the situation. I didn't bother to greet her. Instead, I placed my phone on the counter, screen glowing with the damning photo. She froze. You have it. Her voice was soft, fractured, panicked. I have everything. I said, calm, measured. She staggered backward, clutching the counter like it would hold her upright. Her eyes darted to the clock, then to the door. Escape, she wanted it, but I didn't let her have it. We need to talk, she whispered. We do, I replied. I poured 2 cups of coffee, no sugar, bitter like truth. We sat across from each other at the kitchen table, the evidence between us. She looked at the photo, her face paled, lips quivering, her carefully constructed mask finally cracking. Ron, I cut in, save it. I don't want excuses. I don't want apologies. I want honesty. Silence. Heavy, stifling. Finally, she spoke. It wasn't supposed to, it started innocently. Innocently, I asked. A year, long affair, innocent, don't insult my intelligence. Tears streamed down her face. I didn't flinch. I didn't reach out, because the truth doesn't need comfort, it needs acknowledgement. I felt unseen. She admitted, voice breaking. Alex, he listened. He noticed me. I made a mistake. I didn't plan it, but I couldn't stop it. I nodded slowly, the calm eye in a storm of betrayal. And all this time you lied. Every day, every message, every meeting, all of it built on deception. Her shoulders shook. She nodded, silent sobs. So what now? She whispered, tiny, fragile. I didn't answer. Truth isn't a conversation. It's a reckoning. The call to Alex Stone. I dialed Alex. Straightforward, no dramatics, no yelling. Meet me tomorrow, noon, the old bistro on 5th Street. Click. He knew. Guilt weighed heavier than steel. I didn't need to threaten. Facts speak louder than words. And soon, so would consequences. The day of reckoning. The bistro was quiet. Sunlight poured through the tall windows, glinting on polished wood. Alex arrived first, pacing, checking his watch. He knew why I was here. I entered, calm, composed, no anger. No theatrics, just presence. Sit, I said. He obeyed. A quiet, tense understanding passed between us. I have proof, I said. Photos, receipts, timestamps, emails, every meeting, every lie. He swallowed. Nods, yes, guilty. You understand the severity. I asked. Yes, he admitted, voice low. I didn't know how far it would go. Didn't know. I asked, expression unchanging. You knew exactly. She told you everything. You knew you were complicit. He went pale. He didn't argue. He knew the rules. I played by the same ones I used in audits. Facts over feelings, evidence over emotion. The ultimatum. I slid the photo across the table. You're done, no contact, no excuses, no lies, or I make sure everyone knows exactly what happened professionally, socially, everywhere. Do you understand? He nodded, trembling. Good, I said, because I don't bluff. The word hung between us like a guillotine. Returning home, the drive back was silent. Danielle waited, hopeful, terrified, expecting fireworks, apologies, or a dramatic declaration. I walked in. Coffee still warm, light pouring through the blinds. It's over. I said. Her face fell, relief, despair. Confusion, all mixed. Alex knows, he understands. You will not see him again, ever. She nodded, unable to speak. And us? I looked at her, eyes sharp, voice calm. We rebuild or we end it. There's no middle ground. Her knees buckled. I held her gaze. Truth, accountability, consequences. I need time, I said, finally allowing a small exhale. To decide if I can trust you again. Weeks later, the house felt lighter, the shadows receded. Danielle kept her distance, respectful, remorseful, cautious. I worked late. Odd its numbers control order. Occasionally, I glanced at her and saw a reflection of someone trying to rebuild. Not perfect, not instant, but real. Trust, I reminded myself, is earned, not given, and I would watch. Calculate, measure, like numbers on a ledger, because some things can't be faked, and betrayal is the one number that always comes due. Final reflection: life doesn't give warnings. People do, and most lie, most cheat, most hope no one notices. But I do notice. I always notice, and the truth, it has a way of catching up. Danielle learned that lesson the hard way. Alex learned it the hard way. I survived it stronger, sharper, unyielding. In the end, some marriages break. Some survive, some people lie, some learn, and some, like me, odd. It the lies until only truth remains. The end.